Hey everyone, Duke here, and with Season of the Deep a little bit underway, I'm going to start making a couple videos not on the direct content of Season of the Deep, but some of the quality of life changes that have been added and some things that you may not have noticed in this season. As we start leveling up our Season Pass a little bit deeper, you're going to notice that there is a new material called Deepsight Harmonizer. And if you haven't been keeping up with things, you may not even have noticed this or know what this does, but basically this is going to allow you to activate Deepsight on any weapon that you have as long as it doesn't already have Deepsight or at some point already did have Deepsight. Some of you may have missed previous seasons and seasons that have some pretty good crafted weapons. So this is going to allow you to be able to get the patterns that you need for these weapons, as a lot of these weapons don't really have any direct source of farming them and definitely not getting the patterns for. So things like Austringer, things like Ikelos hand cannon, a big one that a lot of people really liked and still do like is Ikelos SMG. Again, all these are weapons that you can't focus farm for anymore, and it's going to be really hard to even come across these, again, especially getting patterns for them. So this is where Deepsight Harmonizers are going to come into play, and with Xur and the Gunsmith. And so as you can see, Xur always comes with some legendary weapons, and they're going to be different weapons each week, and this week he's got a couple that may be interesting. He's got a Calus hand cannon, he's got Thoughtless, and he's got the Judgment of Kelgaroth. These are all weapons from previous seasons that you could craft if you were to buy them, and then activate Deepsight Harmonizers. The thing to keep in mind though is we only have 6 Deepsight Harmonizers that you're able to get this season, and I'm assuming in future seasons as well. So definitely you don't want to just be doing this for any old weapon. It needs to be a weapon that you are like, I really want this one. I'm really sad that I missed the season. Like that, it needs to be like your top tier type of weapon to want to do it. Or, you know, maybe if you're just missing one pattern, then that would be a good one to go for and use the Deepsight Harmonizer on it. And of course, Xur sells weapons each week, coming on the weekends, but the Gunsmith Banshee is always resetting his weapons as well. So you're going to want to be checking here to see if there's any weapons that you may want to do your patterns on. Austringer is definitely a weapon that a lot of people are interested in, and this is already here this week immediately. And again, if you want to buy these, like let's say you're missing one, you would just need to buy one and then use the Deepsight Harmonizer on it. If you want to, let's say you need 5 of them still, you would need to buy 5 separate copies so that you can activate Deepsight on each of them, even if you don't already have the Deepsight Harmonizers unlocked on the Season Pass, which, you know, unless you've been grinding really hard, it's unlikely that you're going to be this deep in the Season Pass. You need to get to 93 to get your 6th one, or even if you to get 5, you need to be 84 in the Season Pass. So, you know, it's probably unlikely that you're there yet, but you want to already start looking for these weapons. If there's one that you're really keeping your eyes out for and really want to get the ability to craft it, definitely be checking Banshee and definitely be checking Xur each week and buy these weapons ahead of time so that once you get to the Season Pass level you need, you're good to go. Also, do keep in mind that Banshee has a second page of weapons as well. I'm not sure if these are ever going to be potentially craftable weapons or if they're all just world drop weapons that don't have crafts and don't have patterns to them, but just takes an extra 2 seconds to look and make sure that there aren't any weapons that might be here that you would also want. And of course, if you happen upon a drop in the world that happens to be one of the patterns that you would want, awesome. Or even if it doesn't have a pattern, keep it, and you may want to use a Deepsight Harmonizer on it in the future. So long story short, just don't be afraid to use a little bit of vault space to store some of these weapons. It's better to have the weapon and then decide later, hey, I don't really want to use this super rare resource on this weapon. Maybe you would do it in a future season, or you never know. Like, again, we don't all have a super ton of vault space. I know I don't, but it's better, especially on some of those closer, you know, like maybe I'm going to craft it, maybe I'm not. You don't know how often some of these are going to drop from Xur, drop from the Gunsmith, and they're really hard to come by in the world right now. So anytime that one of these 2 NPCs has one of the weapons that you are missing and may want to get, I would highly recommend going and purchasing them and just storing them, and then you'll have them if you need them. I hope this video was helpful, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.